Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is time for another sketchbook tour. Where we left off were those weird X-Men sketches. Normally I do all my stuff on Strathmore Tone Tan paper, but I did mix things up with some white Bristol paper. So let's get into it. This first sketch is kind of just a weird mermaid character. I did these with, where is it? Not a hoo-hoo, Artify markers. So I got a big set. I just recently reviewed these if you want to check that out. But I really like the way they look working on the Bristol paper. And I should clarify, this is smooth surface Bristol paper. And if you're looking to buy this, there's also vellum. Not sure how to pronounce that, but it is a little bit different texture than the smooth surface. So I did have issues with ink smearing on this one, so I prefer the smooth surface. But yeah, for this sketch, love the way the colors turned out, really vibrant. It's really nice actually mixing things up and working on white paper again. The tone tan really dulls everything down because markers are transparent, so the brown shows through. So you don't get as vibrant of colors. So working on the white has been a really fun change of pace. And I did like the way this one turned out. This was sketch from imagination, no reference, so just kind of drew the figure in, see where it took me. This is definitely more of a finished drawing, added design elements to the background, the circles and stuff, just to kind of fill in the background a little bit. But I love the way the color scheme, I like the teal and the kind of the peach, orange color together. So that looked really cool. And then the little highlights of green, neon green looked pretty neat. So this is kind of just a fairy tale little sketch. For the most part, I like this one. I like the concept of this one. I don't necessarily like how the dog or the fox wolf thing turned out that well. Tiger, whatever you want to call it, kind of mixed a bunch of stuff. And I went over this a few different times with different colors. So he looked really different. And I just never got it to where I really liked it. But the concept of it, like her riding on him, the pose, everything like that, I really liked. The bird, how she's just kind of reaching out to him. I liked her face and her hair. Color scheme's cool. Just something about him didn't really, I don't know. The giant paws makes him very cartoonish, as where everything else is a little bit more and anatomically correct. So I feel like that's a weird kind of thing that's happening that throws it off a bit. But other than that, I think this is a cool illustration. As far as the composition goes, the tail swooping back down to her. It's got a lot of nice movement in it that I like, diagonals and stuff. So I like that. It's just the only aspect of it was him. I think a little bit more naturalistic illustration of the wolf would have really changed my opinion of this one. So this is, my wife's been begging me to do these illustrations for a long time. She reads A Court of Thorns and Roses or something like that, Aquatar. And this was an illustration of Cassian and Nesta. And it's crazy. You guys want a little bit of advice, do hashtags on either Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok, and you will get a crap ton of views. So I don't have a huge following on TikTok, nothing close to what I have on here on YouTube. I have a pretty big following on Instagram, but I use these hashtags for these two characters, and both of my posts blew up. My wife was right. She's like, I'm telling you, there's a huge following for this stuff, and you're just not, you're not tapping into it. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. I'll do it, right? And the Instagram one this is my most popular drawing I've ever done on Instagram. It's just crazy. Out of all the years I've been drawing on it, like putting my drawings on there, this illustration is my most liked illustration. And on TikTok, it had like quadruple the amount of views I've ever got on TikTok. Like just from using those hashtags. And the crazy thing is these aren't people that follow me or anything. These were like brand new users or followers. And that was just insane to me. So my wife was 100% right. And then we did a funny little like video of me and her reading, and it's funny. You could check it out on TikTok if you want. Kara Amley is my wife's, and she doesn't have a following at all on TikTok, and that video went viral. So if you're an artist and you like to read, check these, or your wife likes to read and can explain the characters to you, do some of these if you want views, because it's crazy how popular this is. As far as the illustration goes, I like this illustration. It was really fun. I did it, again, the vibrant colors. One of the interesting things about this one is the wings. I did so many layers of color on these wings, and it's one awesome thing about this paper is it's real thick. And you can really layer your markers. There's like 4 or 5 layers of different colors in these wings because I couldn't quite just get it the way I wanted it. And it really layers wonderfully. So, but anyway, so that's it for the white paper sketches. Now I'll get into my normal tone tan stuff. So like I said, X-Men before this one, and this was kind of a transition page. Sometimes I'll do these between themed sketchbooks. So now I just, started sketching with, Bic pens and markers is what I'm using in here, and plus brush pens. Brush pens look like this. So this is kind of just a weird little sketch page. That's a sketch by my daughter, by the way. Here's some girl poses, just practicing, just randomly doing some different characters and poses and stuff. So I really loved Invincible, the cartoon on Amazon Prime. It's super awesome. So this is kind of like a quick sketch of Omni-Man, but he looks very different. He kind of looks like a Spanish Omni-Man or something, which, sometimes I just sit down and sketch. I would actually say I don't like this sketch at all. His pose, his anatomy and everything, it's just, his arms are too long, legs are too, his waist is too short. It's just not a super successful illustration in my opinion, anatomically. Even though I do like aspects of his face and stuff. So even though it doesn't look like the character. So this is the other character, main character, Invincible. Just messing around, blood splatters around him, that kind of thing. I like this pose better. So, but yeah, I love, Invincible is such a cool comic book, and it's like violent and just dynamic. It's a very interesting twist on the characters and stuff if you haven't watched it. So, and this is, I can't think of her name. Anyway, this one was okay. Her face is all right. I mean, I don't know, something about it. I think it's her nose. Her nostrils are too far apart, so it makes her nose look really kind of weird. I think that's the failure on this one, because that's why I don't like her face. But everything else is pretty cool. So yeah, not a bad one. Pose is interesting. I actually used just this random gel roll pink pen for these, and they really are vibrant on this paper. So Battle Beast, like this one. Pose is pretty cool. He looks really dynamic, aggressive, and I like the angle of the earth, kind of gives it movement and stuff. So like this one a lot. Here's some more ink sketches. So this is brush pen, and then I use this BG05 Artify Gray. It's like a cool gray. I like it for shadows with the brush pen. Just when I want to really, model characters a little bit more than the ink kind of gives me. And then I'll add little highlights with my Jelly Roller pen. But these are just random character sketches, just for ideas. So this is an interesting, this is not any of the stuff I normally use. This is just a ballpoint pen. I had it on hand. I'd taken my sketchbook somewhere and borrowed a pen from my wife. These are just kind of funny. I think I had just watched the new Masters of the Universe trailer when I drew this, and I just wanted a weird kind of like style, just doodle sketch style that I was kind of messing around with. I mixed things up quite a bit. So that's what this is. I love this little guy right here and this guy, just weird kind of like characters like you'd see in He-Man cartoons or something. So here's some figure sketches. These three are great. Loved all three of these. This one looks like Sting from WWF. I drew her head too big, and then her face was really bugging me. Her eyes are too big. So everything about this one was great. Pose is great. Everything's great. His face was terrible. So, but these ones, you know, I like to do this with the pen just to practice. So there's no pencil in these. I just sketch out the character from an image from my phone. I'll just type in poses and just sketch out random poses for practice. And I try and get a real natural look to these poses. Like I love her face. It's very natural. She looks like a real person. I'm not stylizing these. And I really go out of my way to make sure I'm actually seeing the person versus, you know, doing a stylistic choice that I always do, like making the same choices if I'm drawing from imagination. This is a doodle page. So kind of a mech girl was the first little sketch I did, and then I just doodled around it, different ideas, different sketches, stuff like that. So these pages are always super fun. This is a weird kind of like creature that, you know, just popped into my head, needed to draw, and I don't know if I had any inspiration for this, but this is a mixture between like a ballpoint pen and a brush pen, and then that gray marker I showed you earlier. But kind of cool. She's interesting, big, huge hands, makes her creepy. And I like the figure on this one, how it fills the paper. It's kind of interesting. You can tell that I thought about the design of this character and how it filled the page, which I like. Doodles with the ballpoint pen again. This is kind of just a warrior guy. Just random characters. I like this little robot dude. Drew him half with the ballpoint pen and finished him later with a Bic pen. So, you know, like you can see, sometimes I just randomly do stuff just because. This is kind of a little fairy tale sketch girl. Did this one first and then just filled in the page, just sketching with the marker. Sometimes I do this just to fill in stuff. A lot of times I don't even think a whole lot when I'm drawing characters like this, just kind of practicing. Although I do like the design of her. Her hair is kind of like berries in it, or like I was thinking of a strawberry when I was kind of drawing her. But she's kind of like a naturalistic, you know, forest girl. She's got like thick leaves on this shoulder, maybe berries and vines on this one. But I like her as a design. She's kind of interesting. Pose is good. Her figure is good. I like her hips. I like everything. And then, so actually I saw some, this is interesting because I saw some sketches of some characters, and I really liked how narrow the shoulders were and how they went out at the peak of the hips and then kind of went back in. I like the form of that. And so this was something I was thinking about when I was drawing that. This is really random. Just, I drew like this. So just held the pen out here and it's kind of sketched like this and did this whole little fantasy world sketch, just randomly sitting there. I think me and my wife were watching Alone or something like that. And so this is, sometimes I just want to be loose, sketch something out of my head. I added a little spaceship. This isn't a great drawing by any means or any stretch. This is more like relaxing movement is what I would consider this more. I'm not even considering a whole lot. In fact, when I started this, I just started some shapes, and then I thought, oh, that looks like maybe some rocks sticking out, and then I turned it into a landscape. So that's pretty much how this thing came about. And I think, yep, that's the last sketch. So that's it, guys. Sketchbook tour, a bunch of interesting all over the place sketches in this one. You know, sometimes I do the theme sketchbooks, sometimes I just go with random stuff. But it was a lot of fun working on the white paper, you know, getting the vivid colors. I really enjoyed the style of these with the big pins, and that's what these are, big pin, marker. I think I'll probably do more of these. I have some more ideas that I'm gonna work with my wife on these, just because, you know, this was a really fun project. One of the I forgot to mention, one of the coolest parts of this is these characters, you can go online and look them up, but you know, my wife described this to me. So they're books, they're book characters. And she said, oh, you know, this is what he looks like. He has gems on his shoulders and his hands. And she describes the characters for me. And then I put them down into paper. And it's something kind of fun to do, to bring these characters that are just in textural form in a book and bring them to life. So I think I'm going to do a few more of these. And I have some ideas going forward. I've always told you guys it's hard for me to stick to any one thing for very long. I like to imagine and come up with new ideas and keep things interesting. So I have some really crazy ideas I want to do with my art kind of going forward, which I hope you guys are, you know, stick around to see kind of what those things are. But anyway, that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later.